Hello friends, welcome back once again in this tutorial, and in this tutorial we are going to discuss about the AWS interview questions for cloud engineer, solution architect or infra engineer. So here is the question for you: how to assign secondary IP to EC instance, public or private? If you know the answer, you can let me know through your comments. Otherwise, I am going to give you a demo session on this video through which I will show you how you can go ahead and assign a secondary IP, whether it's public or private, to your launched EC2 instance, Windows or Linux. So here we have the case. We have to assign a new IP address, whether it's public or private, to our new EC2 instance, Windows or Linux. So how we can do it? Let's check out. I'm on my AWS console. Suppose we have a multiple instance in our console listed over here, like that app server, Jenkins servers, and some other EC2 instance. And we would like to assign the secondary private IP address or the public IP address to machine. First, let's go ahead and launch a new EC2 instance for Windows as well as for Linux. Windows EC2, and we will select here Windows Server 2019 base, which is free tier eligible. Select it. Keep the instance type T2 micro. Select the key pair. Select network settings. So we would like to launch it in the demo VPC of the public subnet. Enable auto assign public IP. Select a security group and launch. Similarly, we will launch a new instance for the Linux. Finally, our EC2 instance and Windows EC2 instance launched. So let's check one by one. So it has the public IPv4 address and the private IPv4 address, which are primary to this Windows machine. Similarly, if we are going to check the Linux instance, then it has the public IPv4 and private IPv4 assigned, which are primary. So now how we can change this? Please note that we cannot make change to this particular private or public IP addresses. We can only add additional IPv4 address to this machine. Similarly, we can do the same with the Windows machine. We can only add the secondary IP. We cannot change this one and this one, but we can add the additional, which is the secondary IP address. So how we can do it? Go to action, go to network and manage IP addresses. Here you can see we have the private IP address written over here and the public IP address written over here. If we are going to assign new IP address, click on this and just save it from here. Confirm. So now you can see we do have the secondary private IP address assigned to this machine, but no public address get assigned. So what about the public IP address? So if you would like to attach a new public IP address to machine, you need to create a elastic IP address and then you need to allocate to this machine. It will not reflect over here. It will be get associated with this instance through the elastic IP. What now? After assigning this IP, that's all, or we need to do any additional settings? So here it requires the additional settings to reflect in the system. So we need to access our EC2 instance, that is the Windows instance first. Let's go and connect with the Windows machine. Download the RDP client. So in order to get connected to this machine, you need to enable the RDP port 3389 in the respective security group as well, so you can connect it. Finally, we are connected with our Windows machine. So how we are going to configure at the system level? Go to network and internet settings, go to change adapter, go to properties, and here in TCP IPv4 you need to enter the details. use the following IP address. So from where you can get this, open PowerShell, fire command IP config slash all, and you will get the IPv4 address detail. So you need to enter these details over there. Please note that these are the primary address which we are going to enter, and then subnet mask, and then default gateway, and then DNS server. Now go to advanced setting and enter another IPv4. So from where we can get it? So this is the secondary IP address. Just we assigned this Windows machine. We have to enter here. Copy it from here. Paste it. Subnet mask is 255 255 240. Now add. Click on OK. OK. And when you apply this for few moments, you will lost your remote desktop connection. So be patient, it will get connected again. We connected back, and in order to confirm this, let's fire IP config slash all again. And now you can see here, this is our primary preferred IPv4 private address, and this is the new IPv4, that is the secondary private IP address. So in this way you can go ahead and attach a secondary private IPv4 to your Windows machine. Now let's refresh this page and go to networking part of this machine. Here is our primary IPv4, and here is the secondary IPv4. Now what we need to do in case of Linux machine, we need to follow the same step. Just go to this machine, go to actions, networking, manage IP addresses, assign a new IP, just save it, confirm it. So now we have the secondary private IP get assigned to this Linux machine as well. Let's go to instance and check in the networking part. So we have the secondary IPv4 address get assigned to this machine as well. So what we need to do in case of system level setting with the Linux machine, you don't need to do anything. You just need to reboot this system and it will automatically get associated. So just reboot it. Now if you would like to assign a public IP address to any of this machine, then how you can do it? The secondary public IP address only get assigned with the elastic IP address. So you need to create an elastic IP address and then assign to these machines. So you cannot assign it from here. You can see, to assign additional public IPv4 address to this instance, you must allocate elastic IP address, then associate them with the instance or network interface. So you can go over here, and I do already have elastic IP address. So I need to associate it with the machine, with the instance or the network interface. So I would associate it with the instance. So Windows instance, and click on associate. Now this IP address get assigned to this Windows machine which we are currently accessing. So I will close this connection and open my MSTSC, put the IP address and copy the user ID. User ID is already there. Okay. So we need the password, get password, decrypt, and we have the password here. So connect it with. So we are connected with our Windows machine with the secondary public IP address just we have assigned to it. And please note that this secondary public IP address is the elastic IP address which we have assigned to this. So in this way you can go ahead and assign public or private secondary IP addresses to your instances, whether it's Windows or Linux, and you can answer the interviewer that in this way we can go ahead and assign the IP addresses if the instance are already in running condition. In meanwhile, if they ask you to assign this during the launch time, you can surely do it. You will find the option over there through which you can do it. So hope so this video makes sense to you. Please let me know if you still have any kind of confusion or question.